The ABC's Helen Brown sat down with Mr. Lembong.
So what can we expect to see perhaps? I know that the aim is something in 12 to 18 months, but what will be perhaps an initial immediate outcome of the restart of these talks?
I would say a couple of things. First of all, I think I applaud the Australian government, and frankly, even elements of the opposition, for bringing a lot of imagination and verve to this bilateral dialogue. Look, in the past we've had boogaboos like the beef and cattle trade. We like to fight over horticultural exports or trade. But look, it's the 21st century now, and fair to say that the real action is happening in the services sector, number one. Number two, we're in the midst of this next generation digital revolution, right? E-commerce, kind of mobile apps, cloud services. So when you bring a serious focus on the service sector, you bring a serious focus on e-commerce and digital economy to the overall discussion, it kind of shrinks those past controversies to their proper proportion, right? I mean, in no way am I belittling those sectors. I mean, they're hundreds of millions of dollars per year. But if we want to strike a more visionary partnership, there's a so much larger pie potentially for both of us, right? In the service sector, in technology and digital economy.
And what would you say to business in Australia, particularly big business, which is a bit risk averse? One of the concerns, or two of the concerns about Indonesia have always been about the unexpected changes in regulations and the legal uncertainty. Do you think those two things will be tackled?
They will be tackled, but I think the first thing about earning investor confidence is to be honest, right? And the honest truth is that we have some ways to go. We still face a lot of challenges. It's still far from ideal. So let me get that out up front. Let's not pretend that everything is suddenly rosy, right? But at the same time, I would say, look, you've got to bet a little bit, right? The trend is your friend, and if you wait until it's all rosy and beautiful, well, it's too late by then, right? So the opportunity is actually present when there are issues, when there are problems. You know, you're financially rewarded for taking risks. Obviously, you have to take smart risks. So I think, I look forward to engaging in thoughtful debates, right? What are the risks? How can they be mitigated? And I hope that people can understand and take comfort in the fact that people like myself and many other ministers and government officials are now accessible to an unprecedented degree, right? We're accessible, hopefully down to earth, pragmatic, and the president's been very, very clear. He wants us to solve real problems in the field, right? He wants us to attend to the details. It's all about execution, implementation, solving problems. It's not, bombastic talk and grand ideas, and then, no follow-up.
So the trend is your friend. That could become the catchphrase for the relationship. We have been talking a lot about what can Australia do to go into Indonesia more. It wants more certainty, etc. But what about Indonesia? What is it looking for from Australia?
One of my visits this week was to the University of Sydney nursing college, and it was very impressive. It was very, very impressive. The sophistication, the high standards. And that's just one example. Nursing, healthcare, elder care, not just in Indonesia, but in Australia and around Asia, will be a booming industry. There's very little doubt. But we, in Indonesia, we need training. We need training, we need systems, we need to immerse ourselves in the right work culture, right? Work culture that's disciplined, attention to detail, self-confidence, English language. I've been struck so many times this week by the strong complementarity between the two economies, right? I mean, Australia has graduated and should continue to graduate to the highest levels. You know, when you're teaching and training, you've attained the highest levels, right? You're now educating others. And on our side, we are eager to learn. You know, we're eager to train ourselves up. And I think together we'd be a powerhouse if we can really draw into a close partnership. I think Australia Indonesia would be unstoppable.
Tom Lembong, Minister for Trade for Indonesia, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Helen.